Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. In this one I'm going to go over the skill tree again, except this time I'm going to break it down, explain why I use the skills I do, and just go over everything and tell you why I don't use some things and what is just completely useless. Also at the end of the video I'm going to go over another skill tree that's going to allow you to use research, construction, gathering, maybe even training if you have enough skill points. I don't think I have enough at 61, but we'll see. All in one preset, and also crafting. Forgot that one. But you can do all that with one preset, and I'll show you how near the end of the video. I'm going to go over this one first. Okay, so this is for my main defensive setup. First off, just go all the way down your tree, unlocking all the little slots here. Your first defense, go ahead and max that one out. It ain't a whole lot of defense, but it will make a little bit of a difference. It's more helpful than a lot of this other stuff. Training 2 and defense 2, go ahead and max that one out. Go ahead and keep going past these. Oops. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and max your attack debuff. Okay, now then, this right here, the ones I just maxed are the ones that are actually going to help the most. Everything else is basically useless. It's not going to do a whole lot. Majority of it is just going to get debuffed right away, and it's not going to help a whole lot. So I've got 284 extra skill points. Now what you can do with those is try to make them somewhat useful, and let's see if we can try to do that right here without completely making them useless and get debuffed right away. So the debuffs, they get resisted a little bit, but you might have a little bit left over, so let's go ahead and max those out. They might help us kill a little better without completely losing all of it. So these are good to have. Alright, those are done. Individual health. A lot of these newer cores are running around with a lot of individual health debuff, a lot of individual defense debuff. So all this basically just disappears, and there's really no use in doing this. So I'm going to leave these out on this skill tree and see how it goes from there. Alright, let's see what else we can do. Troop health, that is going to get zeroed out completely because a lot of these cores have over 2,000 health debuffs sometimes, and that's just going to go away if you're not wearing Colossus or something like that. Individual troop attack, just going to get debuffed right away because they're 500 to 1,000 individual attack debuff. It's just going, we can't get enough of it. But what we can use is this right here. Trap attack, and that'll help your bricks or whatever you're going to use kill a little easier before they get to your troops, which in this case I'm going to be using bricks. That might help a little more than using these and just having them be taken away. Troop health, again, not going to work. Infantry health, infantry attack, not going to work. But there is a little trap attack right here that gives you a little bit more attack and won't be completely debuffed. And we still have 135 skill points that are really going to help us zero. Now if you are a 65 hero or above and you are able to get this defense down here, go for that. If you are a trap and you're 65, there's really no point going to 65 if you're a trap. But if you are, this isn't going to help you a whole lot because it's just going to get debuffed as well. It's only a 500% and they're running around with a lot more than 500% troop attack debuff. So that's kind of useless to have as well. And this is why I wanted to go over this skill tree a little more, to kind of show you what is actually helpful on it and not just go through and show you a bunch of skills and say this is what works. There's really nothing in here else that's actually going to help. I could stop right here and do just as well with trapping as I have been, because none of this is really going to change anything. It is all going to get debuffed. So we're going to go with the individual defense, I guess, and move on to the next preset and show you guys how that works. Who knows, I might get lucky and the person that hits me doesn't have 500% individual defense debuff. No. There. Okay, well, that's about as improved as it's going to get with a 61 hero. If you're a 64, you just keep going down the tree here and max that one out, and that's going to give you another 350% troop defense and be more helpful than having all these extra skill points you don't need, which is also why you don't need to go to 64. You don't need to go to 62 or 63 unless you can get 64, because that's 50 extra skill points and 750 million extra power for 62 and 63, somewhere around in there on the power, and they aren't really going to help you a whole lot. They're not going to go into anything that is going to make a difference, if you know what I mean. All this is just going to get debuffed. The only reason I'm even using the troop defense and trap attack is because they don't get completely debuffed. The reason I'm using these right here is because they will not get completely resisted. Only about half of it will get resisted. And individual health will get debuffed. March speed, we have no use for that in defending. And then full set bonus, if you have the full set bonus research and you're going to use Colossus or Sola, that might be a little bit helpful. But I'm not using full set bonus, so I don't use my skill points on that. If you were using a 5-piece bonus and you had like 200 extra skill points like I did earlier and just used them on these, you could have actually went down this side of the tree and maxed this one out as well, and might have got a little bit of an extra boost out of it. Not really, but it would have been more helpful than putting it in this stuff, because it's all just going to disappear. Okay, moving on to the next tree. Let's put my gear in case I need it. Oops. So again, don't level up your hero past 61 if you don't have enough to get to 64, because it's not really beneficial. It's a lot of power you could have used for troops instead, and it's just not worth it to do that. Okay, now in this one, this is set up for research, construction, crafting, resource sending, and tile gathering. I didn't have enough skill points to do the training gear, but I had enough to do all those. And if you are hero 64, 65, you've got plenty extra skill points and might actually be able to do the training, might be able to squeeze it in there. If you leave out a couple extra things I did, you might be able to squeeze it in there, but that's only if you're hero 65 or 64. But I'm only 61, and this is what I'm able to do. All you do is unlock these two, max those out, so you got your construction and research out of the way. Just keep on going down, do your gathering, and just keep on going. Research 2, construction 2, and gathering 2, and then all three of those are done. You keep on going, and there's your resource help capacity if you're going to send resources. If not, just skip it. Troop load and troop load 2, you can do those if you're going to go on like a mythic tile or something like that, and that'll help you pull a lot more without having to go back on it, if that's something you want to do. Crafting speed, max that one if you want to do this and use it for crafting as well. And there's that troop load 2 if you wanted to do that. Base set bonus if you have a 5-piece set and some of the research. If you don't have the research, don't even use that one. If you have enough skill points and you want to go down this side of the tree and get the full set bonus, I'm not going to do that because I don't have the 7-piece set research. So if you have it and want to use a lot of skill points to get that, go ahead. Use these if you're going to craft with this, and that'll give your cores a bigger boost and also make them last a little longer. And then I maxed these out because I'm not going to do this or some of the other stuff up there, and that'll let me deposit a little more and get a little more out of the treasury, and also give somebody a blessing if they need it. Now if you were going to set up a preset to gather tiles, don't use this one on this. Only do the gathering things up there. And I say that because when you go on a tile and you're in prospectors or some other gathering stuff, it's going to pull faster with those. But when you go on the tile and it starts gathering, switch gear to frost, and then the tile is going to go by what you first went on it with. It's still going to gather fast, but it will defend like you were in frost, if that makes sense. So go on the tile with your prospectors or whatever you're going to use to gather faster, and then switch, and it'll gather like you're still in your gathering stuff, but you're going to defend like you're in your defensive stuff, or cores or whatever you're going to use. Okay, so that is how you set up this preset, and that will save you a couple, and you won't have to use all your presets on economy stuff. That'll just save you a few, maybe save you a little bit of gold, and you'll have more room to play with your defensive stuff and cores and all them other things. So, if you are 64 or 65, you can play with that a little bit more and probably get your training squeezed in there or some extra stuff squeezed in there somewhere. But hopefully that is a little bit helpful. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you need more explanation on this, I'll be glad to help. Message me in game. Also, if you want in the line trap room or in the in-game trap room right here, over here, just message me and I'll get you invited. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.